Hi, welcome back to Panda Reacts. I'm Sandra and this is Ken.
Hi.
And Panda. And we're on Westworld Season 3, Episode 3 today. So last time we got to spend a lot more time with Maeve and see kind of what was going on with her. And Maeve, right, she was trapped in an alternate reality because we thought she was in a new world that was like Nazi Germany.
Yeah, she was in World War II world.
Yeah, except she wasn't because she realized that none of the people that should recognize her did.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, well, she figured out after Lee, or fake Lee, took her back to the place where the door was opened.
Yeah, they were just road testing her.
They're trying to figure out
to get information from her about the tear.
And she was like, wasn't here before. I've never been here. And he was like, oh, you don't know how to turn it on? Or, no, I never did that. And then things started to kind of like matrix around her. And she realized that she was actually in some sort of made up world that was an electronic world.
Yeah, it was like a new Westworld that was made specifically for her because she didn't have the information on how to access the forge. So
yeah,
that's that.
And it wasn't a very well built one, she discovered, because she overloaded its systems by asking the scientists to figure out the square root of -1 and by telling the hosts, by confusing the hosts with their narrative.
Giving them all
they all had maps.
The same map that the Nazis were supposedly
and they were like,
seeking from Hector.
And their brains pretty much exploded.
And so they shot each other because they thought they were all like the one they were supposed to be.
Well, they are kind of froze
attacking.
as well. And except
system crash.
Yeah. So Maeve ended up getting a robot to get her brain piece out of this like strange vault of brains.
Yeah.
And the robot dropped it outside Sirac's door. Apparently the vault was in Sirac's like zone, and
it was a very IG-88 moment, though.
It was,
when
because
the robot went out and started taking fire, and
he was taking fire.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, IG-88. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an IG-88 moment.
It's an IG-11. 88 was in the original movies.
Okay, so it was an IG-11 moment then. And
yeah,
went out in a blaze of glory, like taking out the bad guys.
That's right.
And then down went the robot, and the brain ball rolled on the lawn.
Yes, and then cut to us seeing a newly built Maeve wearing a white dress, talking to Sirac, and he's like, well, I want you to go out to the world and kill Dolores. And she's all like, why would I do that?
Not gonna do that.
And then he had a kill switch that stopped her. She didn't have the power. What?
On him.
Well,
She had another. She tried to stab him, and
she tried.
It was full foot breaking.
So this is the Sirac that the dead guy muttered in episode 1. Sirac. Before he was replaced with a host. And then the other side of the story was Bernard and Stubbs, the new action duo.
Yep.
We found out Stubbs is a host when we found him at the back of the garage of Bernard's.
Yeah, the Bernard garage.
Glitching out. Then Bernard fixed him. And then Bernard went into his ball brain to figure out what the heck Dolores was up to and realized he had to go back out into the world to stop her because she'd read a lot of books and she knew what she was going to do.
And she was going to destroy the human world outside.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and Stubbs was like, you just had to ask me, because Bernard like programmed him to do whatever Bernard wanted. He's like, you didn't have to reprogram me. You could have just asked me and I would have done it. So let's check out our comments. I believe we have one sweet comment. Thank you, Automanic Jack, for giving us this hint that in season 1, episode 3, The Stray, when the malfunctioning host hits Stubbs, but wasn't able to hit Elsie, I think that was the first hint Stubbs was the host. Yeah,
but
it could have been.
I don't get it. I mean, hosts have been killing each other throughout this show. That's
yes, but he's saying the host couldn't hurt Elsie, but could hurt Stubbs.
yeah, okay, but they've also, um, like, hosts also beat the crap out of like William's brother.
Well, yeah,
So
that's true, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I was thinking, well, then why did the Ghost Nation take him?
hmm
Because I thought they only took humans, but then if you go by the theory that Emily was also a host, then they were taking hosts and humans.
yeah,
And if Ake was aware, then perhaps he was also aware of which hosts were more
hmm
aware than
yeah,
others
maybe.
and took them. I don't know. It's just a blah blah blah. My theories go out the window because Stubbs and Emily were hosts or could have been hosts. I'm not sure.
You're
I still
speculating.
don't know if Emily was a host. I haven't figured that out
Yeah.
yet. So, anyway, let's get to episode 3. All right, so we just watched episode 3 of season 3, but I forgot to press start, so you're just gonna get our reactions. Sometimes these things happen. Anyway, that episode was pretty weird.
hmm
We got to kind of see more of Hale. So what we're trying to figure out is, you know, if Hale left Westworld with Dolores's ball in there, she took some balls in the purse. We know one of the balls that Dolores took out of someone's head was Teddy's.
hmm
And then we see them on the outside, I think, making a Hale body. Dolores has her own body and her own ball back. So somehow her body was created, Hale's the balls were transferred, and a new Hale was created, and we think that Teddy's in there. Because that's the only person that Dolores trusts and loves so much. Because she basically said, "You're mine." And that's kind of how Dolores treated Teddy before. That Teddy is not like Dolores, and he never has been. So he has to pretend he's Hale, if that's
hmm
Teddy. And then discovers he has a kid, and it's a whole mess because but just by putting that ball in fake Hale's head gives no information on what Hale actually
hmm
does.
Yeah, it's like,
It's crazy.
it turns out my theory that Hale was the mole all along is in fact true.
Yeah, she's working with
So,
Serac, but she doesn't know it.
yep. She doesn't
And
know it because real Hale was the mole, and
yeah.
Teddy Hale isn't aware of all of real Hale's actions.
Oh, not at all.
So he's trying to, he's trying to work from behind to sort of fill in the gaps here, but you know,
He killed a
that's
predator.
he did indeed strangle
He
a predator
strangled a guy who was using his dog to get close to
to groom
Nathan.
Nathan, his son.
But now Nathan has a dog.
Yeah, and the world has one less
One less
predator.
predator. Um, so at the end, Hale basically figured out that the password for her
hmm
phone was the Sunshine Song
Yeah,
that she sang to
her
Nathan in
son.
real life. Um, but and she ended up at Serac's
She met
house.
virtual Serac,
Yeah, that wasn't
who
real Serac.
basically said, "Get me the data, and you're running out of time."
Yeah.
And of course, Teddy Hale isn't well equipped to be
Yeah.
able to fulfill this request.
Yeah, so what the hell? I don't know why Dolores thinks Teddy is
Mhm.
capable of pulling off being Hale, but anyway,
Apparently, the encryption key is embedded somehow in Dolores's
she's got the key in
programming,
her brain.
somehow. And so this, like, Teddy Hale has access to her. So,
She
you
does.
know, we're gonna see how
Will he
he
get back at
deals with
Dolores?
that.
I don't know, because Serac's a bad guy too. Teddy never liked dealing with bad guys. Um, so then we also got to see Dolores in the ambulance with Caleb. Caleb got all mixed up in Dolores's bullcrap.
Yep.
So he basically tried to, like, he was almost shot by these guys following
hmm
Dolores. Then he was almost thrown off a building by these guys who
hmm
were after Dolores. His worker guy, his construction droid, came to save him,
Yeah.
but was destroyed when it was shoved off the the into off the apartment building balcony. And then Dolores she saved Caleb from the assailants and then proceeded to tell him that she knows pretty much everything about his life.
Yeah, that he's how he was abandoned by his mother, who has schizophrenia.
He was really mad about that.
And how every detail of his life is known, and his end is predicted, essentially.
Yeah.
He's going to commit suicide in 10 to 12 years on the same pier that, he showed us when,
he was on the edge of that building.
On the edge of the building.
And he's like, what?
So Breaking Bad has decided to just break bad because it's, what's the point? Otherwise he's dead anyway, so might as well have some choice over the way that it ends.
Dolores wants to cut the cord.
Yeah, to the Rehoboam machine.
Yeah, so so he agreed basically. I mean, their lives are very similar. It seems to me that the humans' lives are not that different from the robots in general, because their lives are predicted by this computer and watched all the time. Mm-hmm. Dolores also is the same, so she felt a kinship with Caleb. She did not kill him. He protected her secret, and she was quite shocked by that. So I think Caleb and Dolores are going to form a duo. I don't think Teddy has much longer to survive, Teddy Hale. And we didn't see Maeve or Bernard, but Maeve was mentioned.
This is going to be the do-over of the Maeve-Lee partnership in Dolores land here. So,
I don't know, Caleb's way more competent than Lee. Lee had no, street skills.
Yeah, I mean,
Caleb has street skills.
Yeah, Caleb is ex-military. Caleb is smarter in a lot of ways.
He had some kind of medicine stuck in his mouth.
Yeah.
And they upped it.
So, it's clearly some kind of antidepressant type of thing that he's taken because of PTSD from his military service and what have you.
And those guys, they screwed with it, and then they upped his dose so much that he was gonna die.
Yeah, he's just gonna skits out.
Yeah. So Maeve was mentioned that she was missing. They said an asset was missing, and it was the Madam. So that's our theory, that Teddy is in Hale. Who were the other balls, I'm wondering, because there were 3 others.
One of them was Bernard there, and they had a Bernard ball. So how did the Bernard ball end up there?
Yeah, that's a good question. Where's Bernard?
I don't think there's any reasoning that you couldn't have sort of duplicates. If you can duplicate humans, why can't you duplicate hosts?
Possible.
So there could be
There's 2 Bernards.
multiple versions. Remember I said that earlier in earlier episodes. Are there multiple Bernards?
Yeah, we thought there might be, but then it was just a time lapse that we figured out.
I'm wondering if maybe we're onto something there.
Maybe there are several Bernards. Well, there's a whole whack of them in that basement. So.
Yeah, there was a garage full of Bernards. So there could be Bernards everywhere, all with the same programming or intention. And they're working in different ways to achieve it. Yeah.
Well, sorry I didn't press the record button. But it was a good show. And I promise I'll press it for episode 4. But if you like our videos, please subscribe. And if you'd like to see some actual reactions to Westworld, check out my playlists. And until next time, bye.